with us, boomers. This is a show
Hello.
by, for, and about the boomer generation. In other words, the 60s. So, welcome, ladies.
Welcome. Thank
We
you.
are,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to start off by saying this. I got in line, me and my husband, and we voted today. So I put my sticker on so I can have it on.
Yay.
And of course, we are, 5 days from the election?
Mhm.
So we might as well talk politics.
I voted
Absolutely.
today too. I stood in the rain with 25 other people, but I got my, yes, but I did vote, so I'm excited. I didn't get
All
Okay.
my
right.
sticker. I didn't get my sticker though, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. As long as you did it. That's the
Mm-hmm.
main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with us. It was raining.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the line, it moved well enough. I
Yeah,
want to
mine's
say,
too.
you know, we might have been in line 20 minutes. I had to, they were doing a thorough check because we were going into a government building. And so I ended up having to throw away my trusty little scissors that I carry around in my purse. I
Oh
Talking
no.
back to the days of let's make a deal. Remember when he would ask you, "Do you have a pair of scissors in your purse?"
Oh yes, yes, yes.
I come from a family of women who had those kind of things,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
had to throw them away in order to keep my place in line to
Oh.
vote. I pitched them, but they were a little kind that you get at school, so I'll just have to get another pair. But it's
Mm.
getting to be a problem because I had to throw away a very nice um, wine bottle opener when I was traveling from Chicago one time,
Mhm.
like that was some kind of a weapon, kind of pissed me off because I try to travel with a wine bottle, a wine opener just in case I don't want to go down to the bar to get one and they don't have one readily available. So I carry my
You
own.
have yours.
Anyway, I digress. So we've got a few days left and I am excited as all get out.
I'm
Finally.
excited. I'm excited. I just, I'm prepared for the unexpected. Maybe I should put it that way, because things happen. But I'm excited for this to come to a finale. How about that? I'll put it that way.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's time.
I saw that in Texas, they still wouldn't change the number of the polling
The
places.
ballot
They have
locations.
one for Harris County where
That
he
is
is
the
a part of it.
largest county in
That's
Texas. And
ridiculous.
we're talking about thousands of square miles. So
Yeah,
some people have to actually drive 3 hours to get to that particular spot, 2 hours to get to that spot.
I am just in awe that Governor Abbott has went to this length. Plus, everywhere else, the mandate is there in place for the mask, but for polling places, you don't have to wear one. He really
Oh,
wants to
no,
endanger.
they reversed that. They just
They
reversed
changed
that.
it back.
Yes,
Oh,
because the judge said that it was um too much against people of color
right. I
because
did see
we
that.
are most at risk. So they made it mandatory again,
I didn't
which
see it change back. Okay, well
yeah,
that's
it
good.
just changed back.
Okay.
There was another judge, another hearing. This has been a real nightmare here in Texas. I mean, literally, they've pulled all the stops to try and
Absolutely.
block the voting.
And it's so
Okay,
in your face. They're not even subtle about it. They're just
no,
letting you know we want to stop you. Whatever we can do, people of color, we're out to make you not come out and
well,
vote.
but this has actually been since April, right? Think about it this way. What happened? We had the president who denied for 2 months that, this was even real. Then finally, in April, he says, we're going to shut down some things, right? Across the board, right? Well, end of March, right? Was it end of March where the shutdown started occurring? Okay. But you see how fast it was pulled back as soon as the numbers came out in the press about Black people of color being most at risk.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, it's going to go away. It's practically gone. It's going to be a miracle on Easter. All of that. I
Exactly.
mean, I'm looking at this timeline because I love history. And the history on this one is going to be very unfavorable to them because the bottom line is if you connect the dots, the only reason that he said that this was fine is because it was only affecting older people, but she doesn't think he's old, and he's 74.
I know, it's amazing.
On that particular note, we can talk about this one later on. I don't think he had it. I really just don't think he had COVID-19. I'm sorry, that's just where I stand on that one.
A hoax.
Yeah, the man projects so much, he just projected and told you he was going to create a hoax. So, anyway, one way or the other, it was going to become true because he was going to make it that way.
That was the October surprise.
That was the October surprise. I'm telling you, the sympathy vote. He went for the sympathy vote, and it's called, people were hoping you died. Really, really? I didn't hope that he died. Now, I did not do that because I know who my God is.
I won't go there.
That's the only reason why I didn't.
I was leaning the other way, Mel, but I respect what you're saying. But
yes, it was hard. It was hard. I had to pray about it because because God knows your heart. So I had to tell him, okay, God, work with me, fix me, because my heart right now is saying the wrong thing, and I was kind of jumping for joy there for a minute, and then I said, stop. Okay, right. So I had to confess and repent.
Well, what do you guys think about the latest Supreme Court justice?
we only have how much time? Diane, what do you think about that? What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's done. I mean, they couldn't stop it.
It's done. I don't, honestly, I try not to think about it. I try not to think about how they pushed her through, how she's been confirmed. I couldn't even watch it. So it's done now. So my hope is that whatever Biden has to do to balance that thing out when he gets in office, I hope he does it. I hope it succeeds, because I just couldn't watch the news. That's how I feel about it. I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to hear about the confirmation. I didn't want to hear about their, I didn't even want to hear about it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, but I am curious to see how things happened with the ACA on November 10th.
Well, that's the thing I'm more concerned about, Pam, is the November 10th date. However, with that being said, we do have a God. And for those who sit back thinking that they can do whatever they want to, and they've gotten away with it, they have no fear of God. And she, proclaiming to know God and proclaiming to be of God, you know what the Bible says, Lord, Lord. And he's going to say, I don't know you. Get away from me. Get behind me. Just go. So all I got to say is she better get it right. Because right now that chick belongs to a cult. And no, I don't think she should have been put in place. She is part of a cult. I mean, this group that she's a part of,
I don't know much about them. There's so many popping up. I can't keep track. Antifa, Poor Boys,
Antifa's not a cult.
Well,
Antifa's just it's a theology. It's anti-fascism. Period. I am against fascism. So, am I a member of Antifa? No. There is no Antifa. There is no organization.
It's a Trump-created organization, but it's really an ideology.
People are saying it as if it's a real group. There is no group.
Right. It's an ideology. But he says it 10 times and they all believe it.
That's what, Daniel.
The power of repetition.
Daniel chapter 7:25. They will do that. This is what the devil did to Eve. Surely he won't kill you. I mean, isn't that what the serpent said to Eve? Surely this is Antifa. Surely these people are going to move into your neighborhoods, into your suburbs, which I live in a suburb. So excuse me, but I'm already here.
Oh, okay. one little thought. I don't know if you guys heard the rally. I think it was in Nebraska. I know it was very, very cold. And
it was Nebraska.
They all come out at the airport to meet. He have buses of them come, and he has his rally. He gets back on the plane. He flies away. Because of traffic jams, they couldn't get to thousands of them. They had to walk miles to get back to their car where the cars were parked. It's like 40 degrees outside. They had ER medics taking care of people who were getting ill because it's 40 degrees outside.
Yes.
And he got back on his plane and flew away.
Yes.
But he didn't really show a lot of empathy either, because they came to see you by the busloads. But he just said it was not his problem. Traffic jams, he couldn't anticipate it, and hope the best. But this is what he does to his constituents. He's actually watching the coal and hope they make it. And they still love him.
What about a poorly organized event? Is basically what it was.
Yeah.
Here's in Nebraska. You coordinate with the police. You coordinate with the city. You make sure of what is the traffic patterns. Those buses should have been there before it let out.
He was only concerned with flying back. He wasn't concerned with the buses.
No.
It was all about, he stepped off the tarmac, he talked to him, he waved, he got back on the plane, he flew away. I was just like, oh my God.
Well, I ended up watching 2 nights ago. PBS did a sort of their kind of a bio documentary type of a thing. And they compared Trump's upbringing to Biden's upbringing. And they went decade by decade. So they started with, the early years. So they did Trump's early years and then Biden's. And then they moved on, up the chain. And each time they, did the contrast, the comparison of the two. They actually revealed some stuff that I wasn't aware of in Biden's past. Most notably, one thing was he plagiarized a guy's part of a speech that he gave early on in his career.
He did.
And I laugh and chuckle to myself because I've done my fair share of plagiarism in the past. Before the advent of computers and the internet, when you had to go to the library and look up books, encyclopedias and magazines and stuff, and you may not be feeling that creative, so you lift a few words, so it just kind of struck me as funny. I'm like, you know what, I can easily forgive that. And the fact that he had run for president twice before. And so, maybe the third time's a charm.
We can only hope.
Yeah, but the Trump thing that he picked up from his dad and from Roy Cohn is really, lie, create conflict, get what you want, and then move on. And
Exactly.
it seems to be working for him. The one thing that I will give him is that he has excellent marketing people either around him or he has. That may be the one thing that he has, because he doesn't have a darn thing else. But he has the ability to, decide what that slogan is going to be, and then you hammer it hard, right? The more you repeat it, the more it starts to stick in people's minds. And then before you know it, especially if you got Kool-Aid on the brain, then it becomes your truth. They believe it, and then, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I am just glad, because I think we're at the end of the line finally and can get off this reckless, crazy carnival ride that we've been on for the past 4 years.
Horror.
It was so refreshing to see Obama, and finally he's free. They got to say some of the stuff about Trump that needed.
You can tell he's so excited. I can say whatever I want, and no one can say a damn thing to me. You can feel it everywhere. He's enjoying this.
Yes, and I think the audience was too.
You're off. He can just do whatever, say whatever. I love it.
Horns were honking, people were chanting. I was like, yes.
That's weird though. I don't like that part. The drive up kind of rally. I get why they do it, but it's a little anticlimactic when they're really enjoying something that's being said. All you can do is honk your horn. It's odd. It's odd to me, but
everything is odd. But I'd rather do that than to go to the super spreader event with Trump spitting over everybody and everybody else spitting over me, and not a mask in sight or an umbrella or anything else.
Exactly.
I'll take being in the car any day of the week. To see Obama, I sit in the car and honk.
I sit at least on the roof of the car.
Yeah.
And some people did sit on the tops
Yeah.
of their cars.
Right.
To
You
do
know,
that.
maintaining the distance. And that's part of the trick. You know, I understand that it's rough out here for everybody. I know it's rough, everybody. But you gotta wear those masks and you gotta socially distance when you out in public. That's the only way we're gonna get past this. There's really no other way until we get a vaccine. And even if you don't take it, it's still not gonna help.
Yeah, we still got a lot of people, especially a lot of small business people. There's a little revolt starting there, especially in little towns in Illinois. They're just like, you know what? I'm going to keep it open. Find me, do what you need to do because my livelihood. I can't take care of my family.
They're running for their lives.
Yeah,
And they haven't made the connection yet. A lot of them that it is because their fearless leader screwed this up.
And on purpose did not provide a second stimulus because he needed them to be angry about not having and blaming it on something. Let's blame it on the COVID hyperbolic response. And it's not. I mean, this is a very mild response compared to anything else. I mean, we have done nothing. Literally, is why our numbers are skyrocketing, like Dr. Fauci said would happen. He told us this is going to happen if we don't do this.
Yes.
And the bottom line is you had all of these people who were looking at their dollars and cents and looking at that stock market. And if you look at what's happening in the stock market right now, those people who have their 401ks, me being one, guess what? You better start taking a loan for part of that money out of your 401k before it crashes. Why? Because that money then is safe and you can actually put it into something that's going to earn maybe a bank, credit union, IRA. You can roll it right over in there with no tax consequence. But you can even take half of it in a loan and use that money. You know, there's no tax consequence anyway. But you can put that money anywhere you want to. You can use it. You can put it somewhere where it's getting a steady interest earnings because you're going to eventually, and then again, keep on. Think about this. You got your 401 continuing if you're still working. You're still earning that matching and everything else. You're not losing any money. That money's still earning at the amount that you have in there. You're paying yourself back. So people need to kind of think about, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit up here and lose $20,000, $30,000 out of my 401k because that's coming? Or am I going to be proactive about how I manage my money?
We have to talk offline, Mel, because I'm on the fence about taking some money out. So we have to talk offline about that. Yeah.
I mean, again, talk to your financial planner, but I'm just saying to you, I've only had 26 years in accounting, and I do have a degree in it. But I do understand finance as well because that was my minor. And I will tell you that you do have some options. And taking a loan is no tax consequence for sure. And you pay that back through your money, through your, payroll deduction. So,
well, they mentioned earlier on the news, I thought I heard where they said the market, because I worked the past couple of days and I hadn't got a chance to catch the national news and watch the numbers. But apparently the market must have done well the past couple of days. And I think that it is because they realize that they need to take their profits now before everything bottoms out.
They're pulling out 2 days in a row. It's been like a $900 dip. I mean, a 900 point dip, rather, not 900, but 900 point dip 2 days in a row. That's because institutional buyers are pulling out. If you ever want to understand what's going on, just look at what the institutional buyers are doing. When they start pulling out, you know that stock is in trouble because what? They buy the huge blocks of shares, not the little small blocks.
By that time, it's almost too late because you're going to be, on the fall in because that happens to be
yes.
Thing of mine too. But anyway, what's going to happen after January 20th? I think the markets will stabilize. If we can get a grip on the coronavirus, everything else will come back. It may not come back the way it was. The Earth's not going to come back the way it was, for instance. All that ice is not going to reappear on the, on the ice caps in the, the North Pole and up around Alaska and stuff. That's not going to happen.
What, climate change?
Certainly can get people back to working.
You believe in climate change?
Oh my God. What?
I still laugh when I think about.
No, I agree.
I still laugh when I think about Trump saying that the windmills cause cancer. It's like, really?
Yeah. He's been entertaining, if nothing else, beyond this year. He's been entertaining. You never know what he's going to say or how stupid it will be. Okay. Or how blatantly ignorant it will be, or how racist. It's just like, okay, what is he going to do next?
Yeah, what's the next joke? Except it's not a joke when he's the leader of the free world.
There's that.
What's left of it?
Right. And now, and when you have world leaders at a cocktail party that he was at, and they're standing in a little circle
pointing and laughing.
They're talking about him. He's in the same party, and they're pointing and laughing. How embarrassing!
It felt so good. I was on their side.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to bring this up because Diane and I were talking a little earlier, and I noticed that apparently Ice Cube has reversed his position on investing or backing Trump in this platinum plan.
Girl.
But then I heard something that happened on the radio earlier today. What was it? Somebody wanted to interview him on the radio, ask him a question about it. He didn't want to do it. And I was like, he seems a little touchy about the subject.
I still don't understand any of that. I don't understand how this even got to this point. I liked Ice Cube. What is wrong?
He lost his mind. That's what he did.
Apparently, the plan had some components because Trump's been trying to get the black vote forever, and so apparently this plan had some components that addressed economic entrepreneurship in the black community and stuff like that. That he felt that he could, I guess, kind of get on board.
Ice Cube thought he was the best person to talk about this. Representing a
common sense ain't common. It's just not. I don't know why they call it that.
I don't understand how he thought I should step up because I can talk to this and people.
Or step up with that guy.
Yeah.
Why are you stepping up with that guy? That's the part I didn't understand, I guess.
Well, I just want to say this. As I told Kathy last week, I was okay. I could understand, kind of their logic. But after I thought about it, I'm like, no, that's unacceptable to me because our fight, the bloodshed, how far we have come, those that made it possible. And then we supported you in your career and all these movies and things that you put out. I'm a big Power fan. 50 Cent is the executive producer. And I'm thinking, you know what? I might have to pull back a little bit because the struggle is real.
I canceled him and Ice Cube. They can go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned.
I said that's what I'm considering because we've been your supporters. And this is bigger than you having to pay taxes, or this is bigger than you putting your idea or your program, whatever it is that you're trying to push out there, because like Kathy said, it's more than one way to skin a cat. So you ain't got to go and endorse this man for that reason, and then you don't have to go endorse him because you're afraid of paying taxes when it's on our backs, on our people backs, when it's been our struggle that has gotten you to the point where you are. So yeah, I got an issue with it right now. So it truly was a how dare you. Although even I heard that even 50
backed off too, apparently.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, you're a little bit late. 50 cent. You need to get 50 cents worth of education, because the numbers that you put up talking about what you're going to be paying in taxes was a lie. It was a straight lie, because you conflated that with your state taxes. We're talking about federal taxes when you're talking about the tax rates. So states, then move out of the state that you're in to reduce your taxes if you don't want to pay the state taxes of New York. They're high. It just is what it is. But the federal tax rate would only be 28%. And I'm so mad it doesn't even make sense, because I sit up here and pay 25% in taxes. So how dare you? It's the middle class that's bearing the burden of this nonsense. And I am sick and tired of people talking about, he's going to raise taxes. Well, if you're making $400,000, guess what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm not hurting for you. And as a matter of fact, if you have a good accountant, you're going to not pay that anyway.
And even if you're making that, you shouldn't be hurting anyway.
Thank you.
Your bills at least gonna be paid, and you're gonna have some spending money.
You know, you're making $400,000, and let's say that you've made that over 10 years, and you don't have enough money. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because you are an idiot. That's what you are. You are a plain idiot. And then when that lying son of a gun, the man that calls himself the president right now, sat up there and talked about, I prepaid my taxes. You're a prepaid lie. Or you a total fool.
Such a joke.
Yeah.
I
was just kind of like, and then people said, oh no, there were people online that said, oh no, he's paying his quarterly taxes. And I said, you're not paying tens of millions of dollars in quarterly taxes. That's a lie. For years, for several years is what they're talking about. And he basically said, I paid my taxes way back a few years ago. You're such a liar. Yeah. One, because nobody pays the IRS money in advance if they don't have to. You only pay your quarterly taxes when it's due. When it's due on that quarter.
At the bank 4 times a year. They never pay.
No, I mean, seriously. And then if you did, you're losing money. Time value of money is very important. And then most people that have that kind of money, their money, if it's not invested in something for long term, in the short term market, you're talking about treasury bills, etc. That's what they're investing that money in. And they're rolling it over and making plenty of money. So you do not go and prepay anything.
Yeah. His people won't question that statement. That's why he said it. His people won't question it. They just take it blindly as truth. That's why he says things he says. I mean,
yeah, they love they have bought into that whole apprentice persona.
Yeah,
and it, after 10 years of watching that, they
was it 10 years? Was it on 10 years?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I didn't realize.
I think I watched it when Ours was on there. And I didn't watch the whole thing when she was on there, because I saw her sucking up to him so hard. I was like, oh, shoot, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't watch it. I did 10 minutes and I never could go back to it.
I don't even think I watched the whole show when she was on there, but somebody said, oh, it's a Black woman on there and she's pretty sharp and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out.
I think I saw 2 full episodes. And it was during the time that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
Reason, yeah. Oh God, 10 years. I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah. So that's where he got money from.
Okay.
Was able to parlay that.
And then when he started talking about Biden's son, I was like, okay, hold on. So your daughter is grifting off the government and foreign countries, because shoot, she's sitting in meetings with China, and then all of a sudden she's got patents rolling out of her behind. Okay, come on. I'm done. I'm done.
Biden needs one of his surrogates to hit that point for him. So, he said he didn't want to go back and forth,
Exactly. Right. I understand why he did
kids, and he's that kind of guy. Okay.
Right.
But one of the surrogates needs to be out there talking about all that. Just like Obama's talking about all this other stuff. Somebody needs to be out there listing all of this other stuff about him and his criminal kids.
Yes.
And his son-in-law, there was a special, I don't know, it was a documentary. It's supposed to be really profiling his father. But they also show that
I mean,
he has properties in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
He was a slumlord.
Slumlord, yeah, Kushner.
Yeah. Slumlord. He owns them today. And they had people on the air talking about how they're showing the pictures of the space that they're living in. They couldn't get people to repair it. It was amazing. And they said he is the owner. And it had a couple little groups in between his name, but ultimately he is a freaking slumlord. As we're sitting here now talking. So I think some surrogates would delve a little bit into not only Ivanka but his son-in-law, because they're both wicked.
I wonder why the families merged. You know, because to me that was like one of those.
Oh, wait a minute!
I don't know. The Trumps and the you know, I think it was arranged somehow because there is no appeal to Jared Kushner whatsoever. I can't see it, but except for the money piece, it had to be arranged some kind of way.
Is there a reason?
Oh, there's a reason. There's a reason.
Because they had the money.
No. There's a reason.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Jared's family, the Kushners, had the money.
No. It goes deeper than that.
But they do have money.
It may go deeper than that now, but the Kushners had the money and Trump wanted that part of it.
Kushner's
but anyway,
family
go ahead.
No. As much money as you think they might. Okay.
Just tell me what you want to say.
Kushner, his daddy is in jail. You do know that, right?
Yes, yeah, we know that.
Do you know why he's in jail?
I didn't know that.
I knew that he was in jail. They brought it up in the documentary.
What was he in jail for?
Well, a lot of that was embezzlement. They said fraud. They had like 2 or 3 things that.
But you also know that he was going to go to jail for pedophilia. You know, messing with minors. Oh yes.
No. They didn't mention.
Oh yeah. Notwithstanding, his daddy. That's what I'm saying. They don't have as much money as you think they do. His daddy, who was basically, he should have gone on RICO charges. I'm not exactly sure all of the charges that he went down on. But the bottom line is, he and Trump were best of friends. And he had enough stuff on Trump to take him down with him. And this has always been the little backstory that he could have taken Trump down with him to go to prison. And all of a sudden, Ivanka, who dated, what's his name? Quincy Jones. You do know that, right?
I heard that.
She did. That was real. I mean, there's Quincy Jones said, did his little interview and said, oh yeah, we had a few fun times together and stuff. I'm like, okay, all of a sudden she's going to go marry Jared Kushner. Kushner goes to prison. He was going to go to prison. Trump was going to go right along with him. But think about it. You got Jared now married to Ivanka. Got that little arrangement there. And you look at Jeffrey Epstein.
That's the one who could have brought him down.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was another one that could have brought him down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Kushner's daddy could bring him down right now if he wanted to. But there's a whole lot of stuff tied.
We agree with arranged marriage. We agree with that.
Yeah, arranged marriage.
They don't know if there's any love there. They look like just two little statues and no emotion. You ever look at them closely?
They're like plastic people. They're plastic.
Yeah, there's nothing. So we agree it's arranged. I hadn't heard the pedophilia about his dad. They talked about the RICO stuff in the
but his dad, Jeffrey Epstein, and Trump all were good buddies.
Yeah,
and they all were messing with those little girls. And Jeffrey ended up dying because Jeffrey said, wait a minute, I'm not going to sit up here in this jail cell because, hold up, Jeffrey should have gone to prison down there in Florida. You do understand that that was kind of arranged by what? Where was he staying? Mar-a-Lago. Who is it that got the governor and all these other people involved to make sure that he got a in prison? He only had to go there and spend the night on the weekends because he got to a work pass during the week. And he was jetting wherever he wanted to go, when he wanted to go. Okay. And he was cool with that. He didn't say anything. But time he got put in that prison, Jeffrey was about to sing like a little bird. And I don't care what they say, they murdered him in there. He did not commit suicide. That boy was a narcissist from way back when. And they rarely, if any time, commit suicide.
Well, I agree. I agree that that's suspicious. And I agree there was some secrets. I'm totally on that one. Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
They were all involved.
Well, when you mentioned the pedophilia, you know that one woman who says that Trump raped her, they're saying that the Justice Department cannot defend Trump.
Which is like, yay!
So he's still on the hook to defend and get his own attorneys for that. Because they can move forward. I'm like, okay.
That's why he's so desperate to win.
Yeah. So he can be covered again. Yeah.
He's going to get prosecuted the minute he's out of the presidency.
Absolutely.
They're coming after him with all guns.
They're waiting for him.
Yes, they are.
Southern District of New York, they're waiting for him.
With bated breath. They just counting the days. But he's going to try to push through as much as he can between, if he loses, he's still going to try to push through still as much as he can between now and January 20th.
Oh, it's going to be hell to pay.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's about to get ugly, folks.
How much stuff he's going to be trying to get through. It's going to be crazy.
Not to mention pardoning himself. Think about that. Because as the president, he can actually pardon himself.
I remember when that question came up and they were kind of like, well, and it's like, if you think that this narcissist will not pardon himself,
right.
But he can't pardon himself from the state of New York charges that are hanging over his head right now.
We do. Right. He can't dodge that.
Which is such a blessing.
He said, if I lose, he said, well, I'll run again in 4 years.
No.
And I'm thinking, no.
Go right ahead. We want you to.
We don't want you back.
Well, let's see. Let's put it this way. If they manage to get him prosecuted in the state of New York, which I think he'd leave the country and go live in Russia, with Putin.
With his buddy.
And what he doesn't realize is that he knows that Putin is not his buddy. Putin is his owner. Okay, you're a freaking puppet for that man.
Yeah, handler.
Seriously.
I'm glad we just got first names here in case somebody watches this and be like, anarchists, all of them, go find them.
You know what? I went to college, so you could not throw those terms at me. You don't know what they are. You just repeat them because you heard somebody else say them. What I found was really, really funny on the thing I watched a couple of nights ago, just real quick. So they talked about, of course, Trump being Catholic. So they wanted to, appear a certain way, you know what I'm saying, with society, So they all were going to the hoity-toity church here. Everybody went. He went, they said, every week. But he must have been sitting there daydreaming, cursing, or whatever. Because I don't think he heard a word that was said. I don't think he was singing a thing that was sung. He was just there for appearances. None of it sunk in or anything like that. That's why he couldn't name a verse out of the Bible. That's why,
Not one. Yes.
I think he had an evil force.
Oh, no. He said 2 Corinthians. He said 2 Corinthians.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. Who we need to have on the show is his sister. Spill it all, girl. Just sit back. Give it a whole 30 minutes. Just tell us everything. That's so much, I'm sure. I haven't read the book, but just the brief conversation.
I just want him gone. Can he just get gone? I want to stand outside the White House with a sign that says, Boy, bye.
That would be good.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one. That's good.
Yes, but here's the thing that really kind of concerns me is the fact that we have all of these people that claim to be evangelical that are, you got your little Supreme Court justice, you got all these federal judges and everything else. And you think by chance, I saw this one special on, there was a minister, and there's one from the Catholic Church, and there was one from, I guess, Protestant church. Anyway, and they were talking about abortion and the fact that why are evangelicals voting for Trump, right? And he said, what they don't realize is that abortions have been going on for thousands of years, notwithstanding in the 1800s where they're talking about all this, we were a great nation and all this, they were having abortions, and it was basically regular and routine. And the trend for abortions has, been declining because of more social programs for women, with children. And he said all it's going to do is make them go up. And, without the social programs, they're going to want more and more and more abortions. And that's exactly true, because if you don't give someone an option, you cut the crap about being abstinent, because you know what? All right, I will tell you, be abstinent. Don't risk yourself. I tell every young girl that. However, am I going to be so unrealistic that I'm not going to give them a condom or, birth control if they're saying that this is what they're going to do? No, I'm going to give you your condoms. I'm going to give you birth control. I'm going to do whatever I can to prevent you from having a child that you're going to end up killing, like these fools here lately have been starving kids to death and all kinds of other things. It's just been horrible to see these babies being murdered because they're not wanted.
Yeah. Well, you could easily leave them at a firehouse. This is something that you could do. You don't have to ignore them.
But you're talking about people, think about it this way, and I'm not giving anybody any excuses, but you have a young girl. She gets pregnant. Her mama's like, she's already living in the hood. She's already not have anything. And her mama's saying, you got to go. Get you and that thing that you have gone. You think this guy is going to hold you down or whatever else. He disappears. Okay, so now here you are out there trying to find a daddy for your baby. Anybody, any guy will do. Say you have a man that is there with you. You're sitting up there going to work every day trying to put food on your table and to take care of everything. And as long as you got a guy that you can say, that's my man, he can watch the kids while I'm gone. And you come home and your baby's dead. I mean, yes, I there's so much psychosis going on and mental illness going on in unstable people. And I'm sorry, I'm not pro abortion, but I am saying let's do more to facilitate them if they're going to be promiscuous or whatever else. Let's get them the birth control. Let's get them the Planned Parenthood so that they understand. Here's the things you can do to prevent pregnancy. And if you do get pregnant, here are the things that we will help you, because they tend to stay with them if they want that help.
Right.
And like you said, to be able to give that child up for adoption early, versus later on when the child is totally traumatized. It's hard to adopt because it's craziness that we have here. And if we don't provide support for them, and these evangelicals who are saying, oh, no, you only care about that child being born. You could care less about that child walking around living. All lives do not matter.
They don't care about the rest of it. And that's why I still advocate there ought to be a national database of evangelicals. And for every teenage girl or even whatever woman it is that wanted to get an abortion, they couldn't, that was forced to have that baby, go put it on their doorstep.
Here you go.
Let them raise the baby since they want it so badly for you.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, you don't care, because if you really wanted that, you would have all types of unwed women facilities, homes that teach them to get an education, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that even if they don't want to keep their child, you do have now an educated woman who's gone out there to get a job and everything else. And then this is a child that received proper prenatal care, so they're not coming out with all kinds of disabilities as a result of not getting that care while they carried that child for 9 months.
And I think part of it is getting to the point where we're realistic and not ignoring just pure nature and physiology itself. You know, the teenage years are when hormones are raging. That's the way nature kind of designed for it to be. And for us to assume that every teenager in America is just going to say, okay, well, you know, I can, you know, it's unrealistic. I didn't do it. I don't expect them to do it. But we could definitely handle the situation and have them much more better prepared for any eventuality that happens. I firmly believe that kids ought to be allowed to have some freedom and independence at the beginning and make that choice when they're better able, when it becomes a choice and not a, you know, you had to.
Well, I'm not stepping in anybody's doctor's office and determining for someone what they need to do, because that is a relationship with you, that doctor, and God. And once you've done whatever you're going to do, I would pray for you that you would have enough options, or I could help you with enough options that you wouldn't do that. But if in fact you proceed with that, I'm still going to love you, I'm still going to support you, and I'm going to try to help you so that you don't do it again. You know, and that's the problem that we have with the evangelicals. They forgot what Jesus was really about. And he was about love, and he was about forgiving, because he certainly didn't tell the woman at the well, oh, you're nothing but a whore. So, you know, hey, I have no time for you, and I don't want anything from you because you're this, you're that. That's not what he did.
Yeah, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
They are beyond. It's sad, because I have a friend that said, you know, I'm voting for Trump. I'm a one issue person, and that's all there is to it. Really? Okay, so he could care less whether or not someone has an abortion or not. Heck, he's 74 years old. He's not making anything, especially not with Melania, because she's not letting him touch her.
Let him hold her hand. So nothing's happening there.
Nothing is happening there.
Oh my God.
Well, I was
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess since we're at 7:48, it's Diane's turn for the something to think about.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, ladies, something to think about. I kind of got three things here, since the subject was politics. And here's the first one, ladies. Politics is supposed to be the second oldest profession. I have come to realize that it bears a very close resemblance to the first. That's Ronald Reagan. So I thought that was funny, because if I recall, the oldest profession is, isn't it? Okay. I thought that was something to think about. That was something to think about. I mean, I had forgotten that. What was the oldest? I'm like, okay. And here's one, and that was by Ronald Reagan. Here's one by Malcolm X. You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. That's Malcolm X.
Yes.
Okay. And then here's one. This is Abraham Lincoln, and he says this: the ballot is stronger than the bullet. So you know what that means. You gotta vote.
You gotta vote.
The ballot is stronger than the bullet. You gotta vote.
Okay. All right.
And
so
okay, if we getting ready to wrap this up, there is one more that I thought it was funny, because it kind of goes in with what Mel was talking about earlier, and this by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And he says, and when she was saying he staged the COVID, the president staged, this is what he says. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. So that just brought to memories when you said he staged his COVID.
Okay.
He just likely he could have. So
I'm
that's
sorry,
what I have. It was
4-year-old man, and there are 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds who have had COVID that are just like, man, I'm still trying to get myself together. I can't stay up long. I mean, he's doing five trips, okay,
he's
in a
the
day.
only one. He's the only one he's the only person I know that has recuperated as quickly as he had.
Yeah.
He's the only one I know of that, that wasn't asymptomatic.
Yes.
The bottom line is they could have said he has had COVID, but he was asymptomatic. That would have been okay. But you're going to sit up here and say, we have to take him because he can't breathe. He's coughing. I never saw him cough, but one time.
Miraculous recovery.
He reminded me of
it showed us super rat.
Yeah, I'm with you. I totally. I sat there in disbelief, and I don't believe it.
It's just too far-fetched.
And that's what Whoopi said the other day too. She said he didn't have it.
Did she say that on
too much?
View?
Too convenient, too pet. Everything else is unbelievable. Why not this?
Well, because here's the thing: he has investments in remdesivir and Regeneron,
right? Which is why they're keeping around the corner.
Absolutely.
And remdesivir is not proven to do anything for anybody.
It's just an aid for a certain segment of patients,
and you got to get it at the right time. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's expensive. And you're about to strip away the Affordable Care Act from people,
right? But he said you could get COVID, the vaccine. Everybody would get that through Medicare and Medicaid. That's
okay. So let's put it this way. That's a lie.
That's what he said.
That's a lie.
It will be free to all.
Okay.
Logistical nightmare right now for those people that'll have to get 2 doses.
First off, here's the bottom line. How are you going to do free for 300 million people?
They already making it now, supposedly, right? Waiting for it to get approved, but they're already.
Wait a minute. It was stopped because one of the people died.
But they started back.
I know they started back, but when you had to stop it because one person died and you don't really know what was really up with that, kind of tells me that you're not even going to get 50% of the population even think about taking that.
Nobody's taking it that I know. No,
because they're still.
No, I'm going to wait and see what you guys do on that one because that's going to be the Trump vaccine. So my take is this: until you get a real president in there and a real Senate and everything else, you're still going to have a wait for me. I'm sorry, you guys are rushed.
I'm not jumping in the line to take.
Nope. I'm bubbling up on my vitamin D and my multivitamin. And take my little apple cider vinegar to keep the balance right, and
zinc. And make sure you take your zinc, ladies.
Yeah, that's true. Zinc is another one.
Yeah. I do take my little zinc tablet.
All right.
Well, on that note, we gonna zinc on out of here. Thanks,
ladies.
And it'll be fun next week to see what the results are, at least the preliminaries. At least we'll have some idea. I think.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.